Rabbi Kaplan, we're continuing.
But what I'm saying is that we have to be honest with ourselves. We can't talk Lashon Hara on Baalei Averos. And by the way, the Chazanish once talked Lashon Hara on Yom Kippur on somebody. I think it was a Zionist that was one of the Zionist leaders or the religious Zionists, which might be worse. And he did something, or he said something, or wanted to do some whatever it was, and the Chazanish taught Lashon Hara and Beferish on Yom Kippur. So the Chazanish said, or they asked him what on Yom Kippur to talk Lashon Hara. He said, yeah, if you're allowed to talk, you're allowed to talk on Yom Kippur also. As simple as that. So, what I'm saying is, you're allowed to talk in a certain case, but you're not allowed to enjoy it. Rabbeinu, it's so beautiful, the Lashon. He says three things. V'nene ledaber b'ashmaso. Asher b'ha'avosam yismach. Uviklonam yiskabed. When they do wrong, he's happy. And when they do shameful things, he feels covered in himself. Isn't that beautiful? The language itself, you could taste it, you could feel the tuv tam in the words. Those that are maven in Lashon HaKodesh. So I'm saying, but it's a klal. We should take this as a klal in everything. There's such a thing in English, there's a word in English that a certain person used to use on me. The word is negativity. Negativity. Somebody is used to talking negative. And everything is bad to go on. But it comes a matzav of avosam yismach. And I feel in me that I might be nichsa on that a lot. And why is it, and my son asked me, and I mamish have Busher in front of him, why do you always in these talks have to talk against something? Why is it? And I have to admit I don't have what to answer. Why do you have to talk against something? Why don't we once praise something? Of course, the answer that right away jumps into my head is I don't have what to praise. But it's not really true.
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
I'll just tell you a similar story. For a couple of years, I've been putting up the talks of a person you might even call negative, Orach Din Elyakim ha-etzni. And 52 talks a year, 51 are mamish negative. He's blasting this, and he's correct. He's emes. He's deep. He hits the nail on the head every time. But once a year, on Yom Ha'atzmaut, he comes out with, "Look at the great Medina we have."
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, it's a nice thing. But I would say that for some reason it doesn't bother me so much that he talks negative, because I've listened to him a lot and I don't feel any poison in his negativity. I mean, I think it's l'shem shamayim. I think I could say. Do you think so? I think you can feel that he's talking out of pain. It hurts him what the evil are doing, and he's talking about the real evil, the real big rishoyim. He's talking about even that he talks it in a relaxed manner that you don't feel that he's talking with hatred. He's talking with pain. I would say that it's different. I mean, it's like somebody, let's say somebody says, Lamaso, you know that in the Rishoyim of this Medina, they created a situation. I don't know which, the first generation for sure, and the later generations also. they created a situation where you have hundreds and hundreds of children that don't know what Shema Yisrael is. And I say it, when I say it, I think even though I'm very much nichsa in negativity, but in this I feel pain when I say this, because I was zocheh to have grandchildren. And there's a difference between having children and having grandchildren. When you have children, you're busy. When you have grandchildren, you're sitting there and you're enjoying them, and you're not busy. You're able to sit back and relax and enjoy your grandchildren and relate to them. I know there's some people, I know two people that have no way of connecting to their grandchildren. But those that do know how to connect to them, so they mamish enjoy them. And I see how holy they are and how pure they are, and how they were zocheh to a Jewish chinuch. And I feel to myself, but every child is pure and holy. Every child is tamimis, and the tamimis of a child is something so beautiful and so holy. And here you have also other children that are also Jewish children, and they don't even know what Shema Yisrael is, and very likely they'll never know. It hurts and it hurts. And that's not negativity to talk like that. Although to talk too much about it is also negativity. I mean, it's negativity in a tzura of rachmanis, in a tzura of being I care so much about Klal. I care so much that I'm willing to become negative, because, I mean, the HR has all kinds of ways to creep in. I'll go punting. What I want to say is, it's one of the things I was thinking maybe I should do tshuva on in a certain way. It's something that a person should do beino lebeinatzmo, is think. Tzaddikim said, think good and it'll be good. A famous memory from Tzaddikim. Tracht gut wird sein gut. That means, and recently there was a book, a sefer came out from Mota Frank, that it's called Hasod, and he brings barichas from many tzaddikim, especially from the Breslover Rebbe, about how it's important to think good, and I feel that we're very much, and that I'm very much nichsa in the problem of nene ledaber b'ashmas home. I mean, even if we're talking about those that they learn in the middle of Chazar Shashad, or those that they daven too fast, which is something that bothers me so much. Can't you see that davening is important? A little bit, show that it's important.
Rabbi Caplan,
What?
can I say a word here? You mentioned, yes, Rashut.
Yeah.
You mentioned learning in Chazar Shashad. Now, today, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I have a Seder. I'm listening to Rav Avigdor Miller cassettes. And he's talking now, Gadol Oynish ala Lavan Mia Techeles. And if you don't have Techeles, it's a hard mitzvah. Let's compare it to davening with kavanah. It's hard davening with kavanah.
Right,
but just to sit there and listen is very, very easy. Just listen. Just don't read a book. And it's very easy. And that could make such an easy mitzvah. And Gadol Onsho. So perhaps these kanoyim on this have Mali Smocha.
But when I'm just pointing out a way how to approach it, we have to be careful. Let's say like this, that somebody that is a kanoy against learning in Chazar Shashad, which is a very good halacha to be a kanoy for. It's a very important halacha, and Hashem has nachas ruach from that person that he took on himself to be a kanoy for that. But let that person, every once in a while, say to himself, "Ui, isn't it a shame the nachas ruach that's missing to us? Kebiyachol Hashem is missing from this person not listening to Chazar Sashat. Chazar Sashat, according to Arizal, is such a high madrege that it's the Shemona Esrei, which is the yichud of being mishyached with the Shechina, which that's why it has to be belachash. But when it comes to Chazar Sashat, it's such a strong connection, such a strong omid lifnei Shechina that it could even be bekol. And in that matzav of yichud with Hashem, he could learn and look in a sefer and not think about it. Oy vey, what a chaval, what a agmas nefesh that this nachas ruach to Hashem is missing. Every once in a while, that person should think these machshavas, and with that, he'll save himself from becoming a negative person, and he'll make it a positive mitzvah. He'll make out of his kanos for Chazar Sashat. And it's something that I think that a lot of us should think about and try to work on it. And I think we'll see that it brings a lot more simcha to a person. It brings more simcha that you always. That means even when you're seeing the bad, let's say the bad of learning in the middle of Chazar Sashat, but the meanwhile you're thinking about what Hashem Kibiyachal gets from Chazar Sashat. So you're thinking about something positive, something holy, something high, and with that you yourself, it saves the person from going low. I mean, and also it's important to know, B'shas the Satmar Rebbe fought against Zionism, which all the Gdolei Yisrael fought against Zionism, but he made it his special thing. But he didn't mean that people should be mevatel Torah and sit and talk about it, and talk about the bad, and then go deeper into it, and because it's be'emes, it's also a nene ledaber b'ashmas or rishoim. The Babenu Yonah says but you could put in the word or rishoim. He's nene to talk about the bad of the rishoim. And there was a mice that some was so-called kanuim from Yerushalayim came to the Chazon Ish and they complained to him, how could you be matir this and this? It could be that he was matir to have a cheder in Ivrit. I think that's what it was. And it was in those days, it was unheard of to have a cheder where you learn Torah, to learn in the language of the Zionists, which Adayom, I have that feeling. I do. I can understand the feeling that, in fact, learning in English is even in a way better than in Ivrit, because Ivrit is a language that the Apikorsim created, yeah. And we won't go into it now, but the Chazon Ish understood that with all the problem, but once this is the situation that we're in, so spreading Torah is more important. And he even told the Cheder to go over from Yiddish to Ivrit. And the Kanoim came from Yerushalayim, Kebiyachol, they'll teach the Chazon Ish what's right. And they told him, how could you do that? How could you do that? I forgot what he answered. He said something, it could be that he answered a sharp answer after. It says it in the form. I heard they say that they weren't Mochi Shnossim, some of them. They didn't live for a year after that. Well, where does that come from? That comes from the Nene Ledaber Bashmasom. So involved in enjoying talking about the bad of the Rishoim, which everybody knows that the Rishoim are Rishoim. They enjoy it so much that it becomes so much part of them that our way is the way, that they can't hear anything else.
Rabbi Caplan, we'll take a break. Thank you.